Hello, this is video number 3 in a mini-series entitled Don't Worry, Be Happy. I'm loving life. This is lovely. I've been here all afternoon making little side notes on these and scripting this out just to make sure I get everything in there. Just as a reminder, if you come into this halfway through, this is video number 3. If you go back, there's some other videos in there as well, so we'll put them in a playlist so you can listen to them in order. The reason we recorded the video or videos, the reason we decided it was necessary was we were speaking to lots of landlords who they were unhappy, and not only could we see the reason or the way to make them happy, the small tweaks and fixes that sort of eradicates a problem. Lots of the things they were actively dissatisfied about, if you flip them on the head and look at them from a slightly different angle, they were positive anyway. The actual last time we covered licensing, some landlords are, we don't like licensing. It's landlord bashing, and in the last video we talked about how actually we actively look for areas where there is licensing, because we know, for the sake of £500, £600, £700 worth of licensing fee, we're making £50,000 over the course of 2 or 3 years in capital growth, because everybody's forced to make the houses nicer in an area. Win-win, we love it. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about owning property in a limited company, tax, specifically Section 24 tax. That's the tax that is effectively taxing you on turnover, isn't it, if you get it wrong. There's also 3 side questions, just because we get asked them all the time. Inheritance tax planning, that's one thing. Paying for things is throughout the business. I've put down here, because we get asked it, like leasing a car through a limited company or through a property business, and could be any cost. How do you put it through the business? And then the other thing there is making tax digital. And again, we're just talking about these things because they sort of just fit around getting yourself organised, becoming a limited company, getting yourself organised, paying the right amount of tax, as little tax as you can, which is no shame in that, at all. I don't mind paying tax, but I want to pay the right amount. So yeah, it all sort of fits. So first things first, Section 24 tax. If you don't know what it is, Google it and you'll get a bit of a rundown. Don't go too far down the rabbit hole on the internet about how to fix it or what to do or any of the weird and wonderful ways. Don't get too depressed about it either. Essentially, if you own your houses in your own personal name, I can't remember exactly what schedule on your personal assessment form, I can't remember if it's B or D, but what used to be called unearned income. Because of that, the Chancellor in 2017, April 2017 this happened, has decided that you will effectively be taxed on turnover, not income. There's no tax relief. Now, it shouldn't be news to you, but we're noticing it's just something that landlords are starting to, a group of landlords, and look, I'm not having a go, don't be ashamed of this, don't be worried about it, we'll fix this, but this came in 2017. The reason some landlords are really starting to hear and think about it now is it was phased in over 4 years, and this is the year you'll be paying the tax. So maybe you were aware, but you didn't really understand how much it would bite. I'll be honest, when I look at my tax return, I'm just bloody confused about the whole thing. But I did sort this out, Clever Crocs, 5 years ago, and I'm not impacted at all. Those who are in the higher rate tax brackets, they will be most heavily impacted, of course. Landlords who didn't do anything to offset this or get around this now, 5 years on, they're going to be feeling the pain. That might be you, but don't worry, be happy. There is a solution. To say I loved this change is a bit strong. It was a bit of hassle getting it all sorted, but it was really easy to sort this out for me on paper. It was a bit of hassle actually doing it, talking to banks and moving things around, and there was a cost to it as well. That's because I had properties already and I moved them over. You might be starting from scratch, that'd be even easier, but whichever way you are, there's a solution. Okay, so overall my tax bill has reduced. My tax bill now is less than it was in 2016-17, structurally, not percentage, structurally percentage, not maybe the actual figure, you know what I mean. So how did I fix it? What did we do? How to sidestep this Section 24 tax perfectly legally, and you don't need to be worried about, is this some dodgy scheme or whatever. You go speak to an accountant, it's absolutely normal, and it's really simple. You just go limited. Go move your properties into a limited company, and there are different ways to do that. I'm not going to go into all the whys and wherefores. Look, if you want to talk about it in depth, we'll have a 10-minute chat on a discovery call. Go to the description, video description here. There's a link, discovery call. Click on that, come on a discovery call, and we can talk about it then. Discovery calls are every Wednesday, almost every Wednesday. They're free, they're on Zoom. It's a group thing, so you can hide in the background and listen to people talking and get the answers that way, or you can ask your own questions, whatever. But yeah, maybe that's the place to go in depth, or a one-to-one afterwards if that's what you want. You're going to need some advice. I'm not an accountant. The things that I'm talking about here are what my accountant's done for me, and we can always point to somebody and say this is the way that they did it for me. So we're not accountants, we're not solicitors, not bookkeepers. We can't do any of these things for you. But after meeting our clients on a discovery call, there's always the opportunity for a one-to-one, and when you become our client, you get access to our Rolodex of all these people. So we will put you in touch with the right accountant, or fly, or whatever you need to fix this. So going down this path, we can make it really, really easily. There's a lot of conflicting information if you listen to other experts and search around the internet, and the answer is, if you do a Google search, you'll find 3 different solutions, probably about 5 or 6 different solutions, but 3 of them, they're about right. They could be. You've got to have the conversation. Is that or that right for you? The other 3, load of rubbish. Don't do that. But you know what I mean. It's a conversation. Some of the little questions that come out with this are, well, going limited. Could the government go after all the private renter sector? You've moved everything into the into a limited company, and now they say, do you know what? I'm just going to target the private rental sector. Any limited company that's got that SIC code, we're going to go after. I really don't think that they want to, and I don't think that they could. Why couldn't they? Private renter sector, well, houses to rent, is that SIC code would be for pensions and pension companies, banks. Lots of big companies are in that sector now. I really don't think that the government could come up with a policy that says big business over there is being treated differently to sort of mum and pop operations over here that have got 1, 2, 3 houses, worked hard all their lives, but we're going to tax you more than limited company PLC over here. I just don't see that. I can't see that there's any precedent for having done that, and well, they'd be voted out, wouldn't they? Simple as that. And the other is, I don't think they want to. I don't think that's the point. I do think that the let's call it landlord bashing, and I don't believe that that's really happening in the way that it's perceived in the media. I just don't believe it's done that way. But there's a definite concerted effort, government policy that says we want to professionalise the industry. Most landlords own one property, and honestly, most landlords are not professionally set up, and they're not doing a great job. So making it hard and difficult for those landlords is probably government policy, isn't it? I'm not being inconvenienced at all. You shouldn't be inconvenienced at all. Let's get ourselves professionalised and do this properly. It's well worth it. It's the best wealth creation method on planet Earth, as I love to say. Making it hard for small landlords will professionalise the industry. Small, old boy landlords, dinner party landlords, they'll sell up. That's going to be a positive thing for me and for you if you get it right. Why? I'd like to buy some of those houses. Rents will rise as well. They already are doing. When speaking to our landlords, we are saying, don't worry about this. Just do it properly. Professionalise. This is another sort of ratchet movement up that ladder of professionalising the business of a landlord, and we love that. Bring it on. I've committed to professionalising my own properties, the properties that are managed by us. A well-managed, profitable property portfolio makes money while you sleep. It's the stuff of dreams. It's what you're after. But the only way to do it is to do it properly. It'll just cause you hassle otherwise. You'll have more maintenance, tenants moaning. You'll get chased down by councils. Even banks are starting to ask for this stuff now. When you refinance, they want all sorts of different bits of paperwork to show that you're doing a proper job. Landlords who don't embrace it, who aren't watching videos like this, aren't even thinking about this stuff, and there's plenty of them. I mean, this is not you're watching this video. Then those landlords that are in a downward spiral, not an upward spiral, they'll sell up. That's a big opportunity for you, because you can buy those houses. It will improve the quality of the PRS, the private rented sector. That's a good opportunity for you. Rents will go higher, and it'll just be a more and better, highly regarded industry, and that's good for everybody. Don't forget this. And I learned this lesson in my early 20s, and an accountant told me, economy businesses, cheap businesses, bottom feeder businesses, they're no fun. They're no fun to own or run. They're hard work. They're unprofitable. Professionalise. Become a professional landlord. Side benefits. I said there's a few little side benefits. So owning a property in a limited company makes inheritance tax planning a little bit simpler, certainly more flexible. I'm not an accountant or a tax strategist or an advisor. I cannot give you any advice on it. I can't really even talk about it for very long, knowledgeably. But just to let you know, my personal exit strategy from my property portfolio is death. So my strategy is to sort of constantly harvest the properties that I've got for income, not chopping. Let's say properties are a fruit tree. You know, you take the apples off, you don't chop it down. So keeping it for long term is my plan. I've got 4 kids. Over time, they'll take over the business. I hope. You know, it'll be their names just put on as directors. Mine will come off. My wife's will come off eventually. Theirs go on mortgages, and the same thing. You know. That's a lovely way to do it, and there's not many other asset classes you can do that. Pension, built up pension, you can't do it that way. Transferring assets and over certain times, you can get complicated with this, and honestly, you probably should speak to an advisor, and you probably should get quite complicated with it. A and B shares, freezer shares, putting some stuff in trust. You know, it's not worth putting 5 houses in trust probably, or doing all these things. It might be if you've got big plans and a big pot there, but as you go along, gradually sort of get more serious about it, and keep discussing your plans with your advisor, the same advisor, as you share your growth plan and say this is what we're going to be doing and this is where we need to do, and that accountant, he or she, will definitely point you in the right direction. If we will never be solicitors, accountants, brokers, but if you want to speak to somebody like that, book yourself on a discovery call, become one of our clients. We will put you in touch with all these right people. They're the people. This our Rolodex is the people we use. We regularly hold landlords' hands through this process, you know, going limited or whatever it is that they need to do. Hold their hand. We put them in touch with the right person. We say, you want to do this, this and this. I've done this myself maybe, or another one of our clients has done this. Go speak to over there or this person there, and then just feed back to us. Next thing, so we also get asked about what expenses you can put through a limited company, and the answer as a landlord is a lot. A lot of your life can legitimately live the other side of the tax barrier inside a limited company. Speak to an accountant, come to the discovery call, we'll put you in touch, etc. But the specific question we got asked, and it was like 5 or 6 times on different things, we asked, what questions have you got? 5 or 6 times it came back is, can you lease a car through a limited company? It's a specific question. The answer is yes, I do. You might need to file a P11D to do it properly, to declare some element of sort of benefit in kind. Speak to your accountant. Personally, I like cars. I like cars. You might have noticed. I've got a policy. I call it classics and commercials, and I like to drive something out of hours, interesting, and play around. But for work, I've got a commercial vehicle. In warranty, always starts. Not every classic car starts, so I can always get out and about. You can chuck some, pallet of bricks in the back. Not that I try and do that anymore, but it's always useful to have the option. I try and hold off from sort of volunteering myself to be driving things around anymore. But because I've got other cars, it makes it very clear cut. That's for work, that's for personal. So the P11D thing is easy. But yeah, the answer is yes. Any legitimate business expense can go through a limited company. Another great reason for owning property. It's very tax efficient if you start running things right. Final little side benefit, and this might be a stretch to call it side benefit, but I definitely I'm not worried about it. I'm happy about it. Making tax digital. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's not causing much pain at the moment because it's been delayed, but it will, and it will cause pain to lots of businesses, never mind landlords. It essentially means that you're going to have to, instead of putting your tax returns in once a year, you're going to have to do it more regularly. Now, I don't really know if it's going to be once a month or every 3 months. I believe for some businesses it's going to be once a month, and others, it depends on the size of them. This might even force some, the old boy landlords, the dinner party landlords, to give up. You look and explain what it is that's going to come on. I've had this conversation. They're going to do this. It's like, really? Ooh, couldn't even do that. If you're working out your figures on the back of a fag packet or an envelope, or you're taking cash under the counter or whatever, going to be impossible. Now, whatever you think about making tax digital, I happen to think it's a step too far myself. I think it's too intrusive. I can see it causing lots of problems because I've never known HMRC in the businesses we run have an error-free 12 months. Not us, them, and all errors seem to take a couple of months to correct. So it's going to cause some hassle for sure. But it's coming for all businesses, and we just got to get on with it. The reason I'm not massively unhappy about it is because having accurate monthly management account is essential for you. I have it, you should have it. You need to know what profit you make every single month, and this will force you to do it. And making tax digital, switching that on, it's going to be super easy for me. The accounting software that I use, well, they've already talked about it. They had it ready because it was delayed because of COVID. The integration was there. Press a button and you're already feeding it through to HMRC, and that's it. It'll be done. So it'll make it very, very easy. Of course, getting your accounts into shape, getting it all on, if you aren't there now, that will be a hassle. But I'm kind of glad, because you need it. You want monthly management accounts produced easily, produced for you. Don't try and do it yourself. You're not a bookkeeper, unless you are. But most of us aren't, are they? And I've been in there trying to type everything in, get everything organised myself. It doesn't work. Get somebody professional, a couple of £100 and you can get it done. And a couple of £100 for a decent sized business, like 50, 60 quid for smaller businesses. Maybe stop doing it yourself if you've got more than 5 houses, that kind of number. Get a professional bookkeeper to set the system up for you, and then over 5 houses, get them to do it for you. Let's say something like that. But if you want to talk about that more, book on a discovery call. We have a deal now. Our bookkeeper will set up your accounts for you. She'll charge a bit for it. It's not a lot, a couple of £100. They'll set up the landlord accounts on one of those digital packets, QuickBooks, Xero, whatever, Sage, online or whatever, your choice, and then leave you to run it. Once you've got over 5 properties, they'll step in. They do our property books for us, and we get produced management accounts every by the 15th of every month. They come through. Now, how long they're going to be able to offer that, if we offer it out to all of our clients, maybe they'll scale up, I don't know, but there's certainly enough bookkeepers out there to get it done. But do get it done. Making tax digital, don't worry, be happy. A little bit of a side benefit. It is going to be a hassle, of course it is, but you should have those monthly management accounts anyway. Coming to the end of that, book a discovery call. They're every Wednesday. They're free, they're on Zoom, and if you want to talk about any of the topics in this video, you can do that in that space. It's your opportunity to sort of chat through anything we just talked about now, or in any of the other videos backwards and forwards of this one. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell so that when the next video comes through, you get notified to say that it's come through. And until then, don't worry, be happy. I'm going to sit here, drink my pina colada and record the next video. Bye for now.